Then here's part of those interactive aspects of the show where we engage you, asking you to tell us your views. So this morning we're asking you, what are your expectations ahead of President Cyril Ramaphosa's address to the nation this evening? As we said earlier, Leanne, we are anticipating perhaps the president to tighten controls a little bit, but yeah, that's all speculation.
Yeah, we don't know what he's going to say, to be honest with you. I mean, we just wait and see. We saw some of the restrictions he put in place for Nelson Mandela Bay municipality. Is that perhaps a sign of what we can expect, either nationwide or in other hotspots? So right now, whatever we say is guesswork, but the only thing we're not guessing is that the fact of the matter is the president is addressing us this evening. Another guess would be the time, because that also hasn't been given to us as yet. So we obviously expect, he usually does it around 7 or 8 o'clock, but who knows, might be a bit earlier, might be a bit later. We'll wait to hear from the presidency on that.
Don't we have set times? I mean, if you have a family meeting, don't you have a set place
no,
where you...
if your dad's running late, your dad's running late. You know, that's just the way it is.
Okay. Dad must respect our time.
All right, so we'll wait to see on that one. So everything has to do with COVID. I mean, you saw our bulletin this morning. We were covering local, international stories dominated by what's happening with COVID-19 once again. So lockdown SA, that's what's the #1 trending topic this morning. I also see since then, family meeting is also trending. You know, the usual, that's kind of what's happening. We know it's happening tonight. You got some people saying, please lock us down, Mr. President, you need to save us. You got others saying, do not lock us down. Please just leave us. Let us go about our own business, but, you know, do the best we can. But, you know, this has been the case where we have been told, look, it's in your hands. Please make sure you wear a mask. Please don't make sure that you don't crowd in places. Please don't. But people are still doing it. So how do we stop that? That's, you know, this is the big question. What do we do now?
Again, I'm going to say this again. I think for me, the messaging has been partly problematic in that this one-size-fits-all approach clearly hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And I don't think it will work going forward, because you need to have different messaging strategies for different groups of people. When Minister Mkhize made that announcement of the second wave, you know, officially last week, it was spoken about young people, 15 to 19-year-olds, who showed the highest number of infections during that past 48-hour period. So how do you send a message to that cohort? Surely it can't be the same message that you're giving to you and I, because their interests are different, you know, so the sort of activities they will engage in will be different. And I don't know.
Look, it is a big, it has been globally, and we've seen with all the different respective waves that have come to different countries that, you know, it is predominantly that age group, the youth that are going out there, enjoying their lives as they do. We did. We all know what it's like, wanting to go out and be with your friends, socialize and
push the boundaries.
And push the boundaries and limit it. But then it's what you come back and spread. And that's the problem. I mean, we saw just particularly that one instance of that rage party.
But
and I do
then
remember I spoke to you about that.
You did.
And I highlighted that, and this should have been highlighted. And I mean, I even received emails from the organizers saying, how could you say that? And I didn't say anything other than what actually went down, saying that this was always going to be a bad idea, to go down there with all those kids together. You're going to come back. So now we've got reports of 1,000 Gauteng matric students that have been infected, and who knows how many people they've infected along the way.
They were still being traced. Who knows where they are? Who knows how far they went? But that is my point. You need to speak to young people in a way that you can reach them and make them understand what the issue is.
All right, well, that's lockdown. That's the big talking point, and we'll continue to discuss it this morning. That'll be one of our guests. We'll talk to you in a short while about who that is. Swaziland is a big one. Now, this is a story that has come through, I think it was either late last night or this morning, talking to the Prime Minister.
Yesterday.
This was yesterday. Ambrose Dlamini of Eswatini, formerly Swaziland, who tested positive for COVID-19 4 weeks ago. News coming in is that he has died at the age of 52. We are yet to have this in our news bulletin, but it is all over social media from, a lot of accounts that are confirmed accounts coming from Eswatini. but it appears that he was hospitalized here in South Africa, but he has since passed away. So we're looking into the story, and hopefully we'll have something in our news bulletin.
Yeah, indeed, because I remember when he actually came into the country, you know, there was a bit of talk around that as well. So as you say, as soon as that has you know,
official
officially
confirmation, it is all over.
It is all over,
we're
but
seeing it, but we'd like to have it for ourselves to be able to report on it. And then finally, Bill Gates. Bill Gates, you asked me what now? What has Bill Gates done?
What does Bill Gates know that we don't?
A lot. But listen, he knew about
Clearly a lot.
COVID a few years ago. We only found out about it a couple of years later. But apparently, some of the things is that he's been making a couple of announcements, basically saying that we are in for the next couple of months are going to be the worst we've seen so far. So that was one of the comments that was made. And then it also has to do a lot along the lines of him being, is he going to be working with the Biden campaign and in America and all of those things? I think that's another thing to come up. But certainly he spoke about what we can expect in these next couple of months, saying that this is going to be a very tough time for everyone with COVID. So I suppose that's Bill Gates, why he's trending.
Yeah, and we've been seeing European countries and the United States all locking down once more in much stricter terms. So the anticipation is that, given how things went the first time around, we'll probably follow suit. But I don't know. Given how our situation had played out first time around, I'm not sure.
Indeed. All right, so let's take a break here on the program.